I'd like to spend a few minutes on a subject that's kind of dear to my heart, which is something called sweeps. SWEEP stands for service, worship, education, evangelism, parish life, and service. What we've done is, 2 years ago at our vestry retreat, we organized into these 6 areas. And under each one of these sweeps area are all the ministries. And for those of you who aren't aware, we have over 60 ministries going on. And when I call ministries, they could be committees, they could be regular ministries, they could be a particular program, but it's where we have a number of people. After the first year, we found that we needed to adjust it a little bit to make changes because we thought a ministry maybe would work in another area. The second thing it did, and what we're doing is, each member of the vestry, of the 12 people, of which the junior warden and the senior warden and the secretary and the treasurer, not only have their individual jobs to do, but they're also under one of these 6 ministries. And under there are the individual ministries. So what we've built is a structure for the people who are running the programs to have somebody to go talk to on the vestry. The second thing we've done this year is the staff in the office have been assigned to a particular sweep. So what'll happen is, if you need to talk to somebody in the office, you talk to the person that is responsible for that job in the office or that ministry. Now you say, well, we're not that big to get all this big organization. Well, we're looking ahead. As we're adding staff, as we're growing in the church, we've got to know where we're going as far as who to talk to. Because the complaint in the past, as you well know, is people come in and start talking to Candy, and before you know it, Jane's in the conversation, or Father Lee, who's been sitting in the middle of all these 2 working in there. And it's not that they don't get any work done because they happen to be in the conversation. Well, we know we're going to solve part of that problem because we're going to have them in different offices in the annex, hopefully. So that way, all the ministry heads will know who the vestry member is they need to talk to if they have questions, comments, suggestions, or whatever it may be. And in the meantime, if there's some work that has to be done that your ministry's not doing, you'll know who to talk to in the office. I'm not going to go into much more detail than that right now. On the website, there is in the January Revelations, there is a whole breakdown where things are and a write-up on it in detail. But I've had people ask me, well, what is sweeps and that kind of thing, and this is the best opportunity that I can find to let people know what it is and how it works. So we're looking ahead. We'll probably make some modifications on ministries this year with the new members on the vestry, with the addition of some changes that are being made within the ministry areas, and people who are in charge of those areas now going off the vestry will maybe need to make some adjustments, but you'll be notified what they are. But basically, the whole structure remains the same. The other thing from my perspective for this past year, there's been a fair amount of time, my time as senior warden. I'm also on the evangelism team with Liz. Fortunately, she took over the things like Cursillo and the welcoming ministry, so anything going great in that area, she gets the credit for, and I took all the other oddball stuff and the web and all that kind of thing, which allowed me a little more time to do some of the work with the vestry, as senior warden. I got initially hooked into working on the annex. I was informed that the senior warden was the guy that signed all the papers, not the rector. I'm the official head of the Church of St. John, therefore my name goes on all these documents. And when Mr. Van Gilder informed me of that, he then persuaded me, without breaking my arm but twisting, that I needed to start attending all the annex meetings. So I had to be added to that committee. And after a couple of meetings, I found out why, that I needed to know what was going on as we were progressing along, and I'll leave the rest up to him as far as the annex. The other major undertaking that I took over, and I'm not sure how I got into it, but I think it was because Kurt at that time was the junior warden and had started it, was the security system. And so it took almost all year to get it to work the way we wanted it to work. And we still are having a few problems with people forgetting to hit the codes and that kind of thing when they walk in the door, so that the alarm company is calling us. But we're basically sound on that, but now we're going to have to add it, the same thing, to the annex. We also have added some cameras in here, and we're going to have to add that kind of thing to the annex. So basically, we're going to be down on one area, but we're going to be up on an area. But that's the kind of thing that we've had to do in 17, because we're moving and we're growing, and we got to be prepared. And the last thing I'm involved with is something called ACS, which is the software we have. And hopefully, if I get it done before Monday, there'll be an article on what that is in the February revelations. So thank you again to all your support for me and the vestry. It's been a thrilling year, and I can see that the coming year is even going to be more so once you see the building. Anybody have a question for me? Thank you.